keep using those feints, head movement, and don't forget the body from me, okay?
All
right? Hey, very nice.
Here you see Bernard moving in as if he's going to go into a clinch and shoot a perfect pinpoint short right hand. Couldn't have been any better than that. And the fact that Calzaghe wasn't even expecting that, because from that shorter distance, it would have made it had much more effect than if it had been a long-range punch.
And any chance Calzaghe had of standing up was eliminated when Hopkins continued to proceed forward and with their shoulders engaged, managed to go ahead and finish the knockdown by putting Calzaghe onto his trunks. Total punches in round one by CompuBox count. Hopkins only threw 16, landed 4. Calzaghe 7 out of 35. Again, those kinds of numbers reflect a Bernard Hopkins round.
Bernard wants to slow the fight down, fight in spots, and keep Calzaghe from getting in his rhythm, because Calzaghe is a rhythm fighter. If he goes on and gets into his rhythm later on, he still could turn this fight around. But right now, the fight is going just the way Bernard wants it to be.
You know, people talk a lot about Bernard Hopkins' work rate or lack thereof. But in preparation for the fight, no one has a better work rate. He trains as hard as anybody. And that's why he's able at the age of 43 to even go 12 good rounds with these great younger fighters.
Also, Bernard probably, I don't think anybody I've ever known in boxing is more intelligent in studying films and analyzing every movement of the body and hands.
Preparation.
Unbelievable, not just physically, but also in preparation of studying and analyzing opponents.
Every time Calzaghe nears Hopkins, Bernard is reaching out and clutching him with the left arm. And he's managing to do it most of the time on the opposite side of Joe Cortez. Ricky Hatton complained long and loud about how Cortez refereed the Hatton-Mayweather fight in December. There were some British writers who felt as though Cortez didn't give Hatton a chance to do his thing.
Bring out. What's punching behind the head? What's punching behind the head?
Well, Mayweather had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and I think so far it's Hopkins who's keeping Calzaghe from doing his thing. And Bernard landed another straight right counter punch. That's his best shot, and he's landed it again in this round. Calzaghe beginning to get a chance to let his hands go. But still showing a lot of respect to Hopkins on the inside. You see the blood again trickling from the little cut on the bridge of Joe Calzaghe's nose.
Calzaghe seems to be getting his rhythm going a little bit here. He's a rhythm fighter. He's starting to punch, bob, and weave. He's making adjustments to Hopkins and making Bernard fight at a little faster pace than he wants to fight at.
Hey, look, keep your legs up. All right, keep it up. Okay. All right.
Low blow by Calzaghe. Once again, Hopkins reaches that left arm out. Momentarily holds Calzaghe, then drops it as Cortez comes in.
All right, break. Let him out.
It's going to be a test of Joe Calzaghe's will to see if he can find a way to let his punches flow, as has been the case in his resounding victories in recent years. So far, it's hot and tech.
I believe he will. As the fight goes on, I see him getting into his rhythm now. Bernard is throwing one punch and lunging in with his head down at the same time, never trying to put together a series of combinations.
Immediately following this broadcast, countdown to De La Hoya Forbes, part of our Emmy-nominated countdown series. Then the live fight, Oscar De La Hoya against Steve Forbes, Saturday, May 3.
Sorry. Don't push. All right, don't mind about it. Counter it right away. Punch it behind the head right now, okay, on the clinch, all right? Splatter. Okay. Okay.
CompuBox numbers so far figure Calzaghe for having thrown 33 jabs and landed none. Obviously, if he's going to get that two-fisted rhythm going, he's going to have to start landing his jab at some point.
Yeah, both guys are very difficult to land clean punches on. Both of them are very good defensive fighters.
And now Calzaghe goes with the lead left hand down the middle and lands it. That may be a tactic that he would use to greater effect as time goes on.
Guys, I got to tell you, I think the majority of the effective punches have been landed by Hopkins, including in the last round. Bernard said going into this fight, he's not going to be able to beat me on flair. And I don't see Calzaghe beating Hopkins on flair so far.
Hopkins getting in 3 right-hand body shots before Cortez pulled him apart. Bernard Hopkins is extremely adept at getting in subtle punishment when the two fighters are engaged in what might be called clinches, and it doesn't look like much is going on. Something is going on. Like that.
Bernard's a very cagey guy, and one of his heroes is the famous middleweight from Philadelphia, Benny Briscoe, and he's, who kept his head down, which avoided from getting hit, made opponents hurt their hands, but also he's landing very short, accurate punches. Calzaghe is busy, but his punches are more of a slap. Bernard's are more crisp, more accurate, more body weight.
Calzaghe's game is to fight at a moderate distance. So far, Hopkins is making him fight either from great distance or in a phone booth, up close. Both of those situations are better for Hopkins.
Bernard is fighting the fight that he wants to fight. Calzaghe cannot fight the fight he wants to fight at this stage.
And that's saying something, because Calzaghe's always been able to impose his style on his opponent.
But still, as the fight goes on, I think he's going to step it up whether he wins or loses, because he's just that type of a guy. He makes great adjustment, and once he senses he may be losing the fight, he does become more intense.
Well, the first adjustment that appears necessary here is how to find a distance at which he can mount his offense without getting sucked into Bernard's vortex. And it seems to me that minute by minute he's beginning to feel his way toward that. You see his hands flowing more rhythmically here in round 3. Calzaghe getting in hard left hands in the clinch, much as Hopkins has been able to do with right hands in the past. The crowd boos as Cortez warns Calzaghe. Body shots by Calzaghe. Hopkins drives him away with a counter right. Both fighters landed in that sequence.
Yeah, he's doing the pace you can't maintain after. Okay, can you keep it going, Joe? Yeah. How do you feel? It feels good, Joe. And lower the left hand target, left, right, left. All right, double combination.
Keep a tight guard though.
What? Keep it today, yeah, but you're getting too worried about the tight guard. That's what's catching you. It's catching you because you relax it, you throw the neck. You have to be careful. Yeah. You have to be careful, Joe.
Yeah, cool.
You've got to start stepping these rounds up. You start stepping up, a bit too cautious. He's catching on the cautious, right?
You hear me? All right, you just can't get away with one punch, okay? He's a sucker for the right hand. Come back to the left hook. Feint him, right hand, left hook. He's going to work all night long, I promise you. All right? Let's go. Deep breath.
Freddie Roach is the head trainer in Hopkins' corner. He actually has 4 people on his staff. Might be called a kind of joint chiefs of staff arrangement. Trainer Mackie Shillstone, John David Jackson to talk about southpaw and defense, Nassim Richardson, who's been an assistant trainer throughout his career, and Freddie Roach. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 2 rounds to 1, 29-27, Bernard Hopkins. You got to give him an extra point to round 1, just like you said, for the knockdown. But Jim, I got to tell you, Bernard's got Joe Calzaghe fighting his fight. In other words, Hopkins' fight. Calzaghe rushes in, and Bernard hits him with a right hand. I thought Joe was busy enough to win round 2, but certainly in round 3, the Hopkins right hand is more effective. 2 rounds to 1, Hopkins.
Round 3 CompuBox numbers began to look the way Calzaghe would want them to look. But just because you have the numbers doesn't mean you won the round.